All right, so we'll talk to Pat Forty, some college football, and USC gets their man, Lincoln Riley. You know, it felt like Lincoln Riley's his name comes up. He's only 38. And I thought that he was going to go to the Cowboys a couple of years ago. I thought that would have been a really good pick because he's developing these quarterbacks, and that's what the NFL is all about. Takes over for Bob Stoops, and, you know, they don't miss a beat. And now who comes in to help out Oklahoma? Bob Stoops is going to coach Oklahoma in the bowl game. Now, there's going to be names that are going to come up. You're going to hear names that are not interested in Oklahoma as much as they're using Oklahoma to get a pay raise. That's what's happened. That happens every single year at this time. But a name that I was told, keep an eye on, maybe Mark Stoops, Bob Stoops' brother, as a possibility there. Cliff Kingsbury's name will be floated about, probably by Cliff Kingsbury's agent, just so he can get a pay raise with the Arizona Cardinals. Yes, Seton.
So how does that process work, right? Say you're a hot shot NFL coach,
right,
and maybe you're rumored for 2 college football jobs.
All right.
Does your agent just go into, say, the general manager's office and say, okay, so a lot of rumors, getting some offers out there. What are we going to do to make this feel better? Is it that direct? Is it that blunt? Like, so LSU called. We might take that job.
Well, it feels like, just like with James Franklin in USC and LSU. And I said, look, he hired an agent whose job, Jimmy Sexton, is to leverage the SEC. And that's exactly what he did. He fell off the radar with USC. And it's like, can I have my name in there with LSU? LSU thought they had Lincoln Riley. They thought they had him. Whatever happened with USC, the 11th hour, and they got their man. Here is the press conference after Oklahoma lost Oklahoma State. Here is Lincoln Riley getting the question.
Lincoln, are you shocked that you've gotten this far without anybody asking you about all the rumors this week?
I'm just
saying I'm gonna ask you about it, so I might as well. It's nonstop. I mean, it's every day.
Hold up, Gary. I'm not going to be the next head coach at LSU.
Can I ask you?
Next question.
Okay. And he's not. But he, I think, was going to be the next head coach at LSU. Yes, he.
There was like 15 hours difference between that statement and the USC announcement.
I know. If you're an Oklahoma fan, you're probably going, wait, what?
Well, I love the reporter being like, I mean, it is just nonstop, all these rumors. Like, what are you have to combat this? Like, almost like it's a huge problem.
Just ask the question. He's a grown man. You're a grown man. Just ask the question. Coach, how do you address these, rumors? And then if you want to get direct and say, are you going to LSU? Have you been contacted by LSU? At least you're on record as saying it instead of saying, and I know it's different when you're local and you're going to see that coach and he's going to see you and you want to be friendly to the program. And I understand all those things. Although everybody's going to be turning on Lincoln Riley now. Everybody was like, hey, I got to ask the question here. Now they're like, yep, I asked about, he said he wasn't going to LSU. I didn't think about saying, are you going to USC? Yeah, Paul.
That was genius by Lincoln Riley. He jumped the question. Yeah. Once the topic was up there, he's like, okay, I got to put this to bed quick. And he jumped the reporter getting specific and said, hey, I'm not going to LSU, which he was telling the absolute truth when he probably told that line. And he didn't let them follow up with, what about any other offers? Are you committed to OSU? Mm. He jumped the whole topic.
Yeah. But, it was a passive-aggressive question to begin with, and then he became just aggressive. Like, I'm going to go grab it, and I'm going to put that to the side. Next question. Okay, is somebody going to go, what about USC? I give credit to USC. They kept it quiet and swooped in to get Lincoln. It's a great hire. But I also think, and some of the USC people, too, that I spoke to via text on Saturday said, oh, my God, is this as good as we can get? And I said, yes, it is. Like, who else are you thinking? You're not getting Nick Saban. Like, who did you think you were going to get? Mike Tomlin? I think this was a great hire for them. If you want to reestablish yourself, first of all, get a coach who's going to keep the best quarterbacks in town. And Lincoln Riley's going to help you because he does a lot of recruiting in L.A. And you've already got a 5-star commitment. You got 3 guys who were going to go to Oklahoma are going to decommit. And then they're going to go to USC. You're already winning. But I also think if I'm Lincoln Riley and I'm looking at the SEC, we're pretty good in the Big 12. And you say I can get to a national title game, I got a better chance going to the Pac-12 with USC than I do going into the SEC. Plain and simple. And I think that is the real story here. Lincoln Riley, small-town guy, going to the big city. I got a chance going into the SEC. That ain't the Big 12. But the Pac-12, you got a chance. Yes, Eaton.
Shouldn't the SEC be like the thing that's luring you? Shouldn't you want to go coach in the SEC rather than?
I don't know, man. That's week in and week out.
I don't know, but if it's a dude that's scared to go to the SEC, is that really the guy that you want coaching for you?
I don't know if that's the reason, other than I think it. And who's going to say it? He's not going to go.
Hey, Coach, a quick question here. I know the SEC.
I got to ask the question, Coach.
It's all everyone's talking about it.
Yeah. Are you afraid of coaching in the SEC, Coach? Yes, McLovin.
I have a friend who's a USC fan, and I think they're all crazy because he's like, well, he can't be that good. Oklahoma let him walk. And he also said he inherited a great team at Oklahoma. I'm like, he went to 4 straight playoffs.
Yeah.
I can't believe they're not thrilled with this hire. It's and I think you're right. I think they're not thrilled. I think they're like, oh, well, what else was out there?
I think they're delusional to think that they were but this is when you have a wish list of names. And when, you all of a sudden see all of these names, well, these are the names that USC was interested in. Not necessarily those people were interested in USC. They would throw out, as I mentioned, Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn's the defensive coordinator for Dallas. Okay. They were interested in him. I don't know if Dan Quinn was interested in them. They curious about Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin wasn't interested in USC. And that's where you get your hopes up. Like LSU. What does LSU do now? Because they thought they were getting Lincoln Riley. Now, who are you getting? And it doesn't mean that there's not quality coaches out there. It's just in your mind, we look at the big ticket items. There are times when you'll see a coach and you'll go, man, that guy's pretty good. Well, he was a nobody. You didn't know him. Then all of a sudden he takes over and you go, oh, wow, he can coach. We love to know the names that are interested in our alma maters. Like, we got to have somebody better than that. We're USC. Not always the case. By the way, I just found out what LSU offered Lincoln Riley. You guys want to guess? Closest to the hole. Then we'll get to Pat 40, who was at the Alabama-Auburn game. McLovin?
$10 million.
$10 million. Fritzy?
I'm going to say 8.5.
8.5. Seton?
I'll go 8.
8. Paulie?
$9.5 million.
$12 million.
Come on!
Just found out Lincoln Riley offered $12 million.
Dang.
I don't know what USC offered, but I'm going to guess housing was included.